Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Maria from Under the Night Moon, and I'm here tonight doing flip-throughs for you of my recent collections and books for my Etsy shop. And I am in love with these books so much. This was, I'm going to do the flip-through tonight of this book here. And this was a project that I was inspired by a friend of mine named Lori. And this book came out so cool, and it was so much fun to make. I made another one for my shop. So I'm going to flip through this one first so you can see it, and then I will go through the other one next. And first I want to say happy early birthday, Lori. Thank you so very much for inspiring me once again on making a book for you. It is an absolute pleasure to create for you. And I will leave a link below. She makes some of the most beautiful jewelry you've ever seen. And I follow her on Instagram as well as Etsy. And yes, she just sent me some beautiful things that inspired me for this book. So without any more carrying on, I will go ahead and do the flip through for you. But basically, she just wanted like uneven pages and like the rough kind of ruby and pearl look that we all love so very much. And so there's some ruby and pearl in here, and then I just sort of, this was my take on what I was, this is what I came up with basically. And so this gorgeous book cover is from the oh gosh, the Etsy shop from France. And I can't think of it, but I will link it below. Her name is Jacqueline, and she has the most beautiful books. So I downloaded that, and then I adhered it to some really thick, sturdy book board because I wanted it to be sturdy, but I also wanted it to be heavy and to look like a nice, bound book, even though let's see, this is just one big fat signature, right? No, it's two. But it's very, it's very sturdy. And then I took a beautiful image of a rose, did some embossing of this really cool frame around it, and some really beautiful silk sari, and then an antique chandelier crystal that I got at the antique market in Tampa to kind of just finish the cover. And then I used a ton of textiles in this book. Let me get in frame here. Sorry, I am at a different desk, and it's always a challenge here. So, yeah, this is more of like a wallpaper textile. Let me just, okay, yeah. Textile book. And so I threaded the, let me just open it so you can see here. The two signatures I sewed through this beautiful fabric, and then I don't remember, I think I stitched it onto this spine here, and then I sewed the fabric with this gorgeous ribbon here, and I wanted a little bit of rose color, I don't know, just something bright and fun to be kind of on the outside. And so yeah, a ton of textiles in this book. And so right here on the inside cover, you can see this beautiful fussy cut frame and some red velvet. And I love the way this looks with the chandelier hanging down. And this is a beautiful French poem. And then all the paper I tea-dyed and distressed myself and just really had a lot of fun with the old world rough style, which I'm calling it now. I really don't know what it's called, but yeah. Really love this whole kind of style here. The rose is a little tuck spot there, and then this gorgeous golden damask fabric, and I just left the edge the way it was. And then on here, some more beautiful upholstery fabric here. Gorgeous paisley pattern. And I love the roughness of it. you know, I love the rough cut and all of that goodness. So I just kind of left it. And then I just printed some things that I have in my stash, just some cool papers. There's book pages, made a little tag, tuck spot there, but there's plenty of room in here for more things. And then this really cool ruffle I added kind of at the last minute, but I love, love, love the roughness of that. And then you can see, I don't have my ruler with me right now, but this is a good probably 11 inches tall here. So here's some beautiful paper from the Paper Cameo, a sweet little Victorian scrap there. And then I have some pink paint everywhere. And you can see here, but let me show you this first. It's just a really pretty floral. And I printed it on the linen paper and then tea dyed it. And the whole thing flips over so you can actually journal on here. And then I have a vintage etiquette book, so I just kind of tore up some book pages and added that. But I love this, and then there's some fussy cut florals there. And then on this side, this is just pink paper, and I roughed it up with some chalk paint. And then I did the IOD rose chintz paint inlays for just some shabby look there. And I love the way it came out. And there was tea mixed in the paint, and yeah. And then these books have, well, and I say these books because I don't know if I told you already, but I made two. So both of these books have a ton of wallpaper, all from the 1920s and 30s. This one's absolutely gorgeous. You can actually see the paint on there. This beautiful sage green. And then on this side here, just a really very sturdy piece of nice watercolor paper. And then I had these really pretty botanicals. So I used the etiquette paper and stitched them, and then I tea dyed them, and some of them have pink paint on there. I just kind of roughed them up a little with my paints and dyes. And I love the way they came out. This piece of brocade has been on my desk for probably 2 years, like in my little box of scraps. And I love the way it looks with this orchid. It's just so beautiful. And I miss the orchids because I'm not in Florida anymore and orchids are everywhere. Oh yeah. Here is a nice piece of the vintage wallpaper. Probably, I don't know when these are from, at least the 20s and 30s. And this one has gold in it, which is just really beautiful. I don't know if the camera is picking up the gold or not, but it's so pretty. And it'd be dreamy to write on. Really nice. Has a really nice feel to it. And then on the other side, I just put one of Ruby and Pearl's reprints there. And then this is an Amity Bloom. I put just some antique lace and a little antique button down there on the bottom. Printed, this is from my mom's studio, the Paper Dolls book. I just love it. It's all beat up and beautiful. And I just thought that was a nice little addition. A fun French textile, some fun paper to write on, and then some beat up vellum here. Just love all the different textures. And she had asked me for a lot of different texturally kind of fun things. And so we've got that. This is kind of like that straw paper. And then this is a really beautiful handmade paper. And you can see if you wanted to paint on here, it'd be a beautiful paper to do some watercolors on. That's probably what it's for. And then I just tore it to give it the edged look. Did a little paint swatch right there. And yeah. And then the center is a nice piece of this really beautiful wallpaper I have. And I had to glue it onto a Ruby and Pearl printable because it's really fragile. And it cracks and breaks, so it's all glued down. But I thought, what a beautiful center signature. Just beautiful. It's so dainty and pretty. Of course, the color is dreamy. And then I just put a little antique lace and some velvet. And I didn't want any of it to go to waste, so I just flipped it up and glued it on the other side there. And you can write on all of this. I mean, if you wanted to. I don't think I would want to write on this paper, but you could. And then really beautiful piece of textile here. Just a gorgeous piece of embroidery. And this is from the antique market. And it was already taken apart. I don't know what it was. Maybe a garment. But I have a few pieces of this really beautiful embroidery. So I gave Lori a piece for her birthday. And then the other side of this gorgeous paper, a really beautiful, fun piece of like a satiny kind of paper. I just thought it was neat because this is all one piece of fabric, but it's embossed to get this basket weave, which I just thought was kind of cool. I've tried to emboss fabric and I don't always have success like this, so yeah. That was cool. There's the other side of this really cool vellum, and it's kind of like a gold splotchy paint kind of thing here. Beautiful piece of tapestry here, and it's actually a little tuck spot. If you wanted to tuck some papers back there, you could. And then I showed you this, and then I just put a little safety pin down below with a little piece of lace and some more velvet, just for fun. There's the other side of the Amity Bloom. Another large piece of this wallpaper. You can see the little color swatch right here. Just really cool. And there. So it's pretty much a full piece of this wallpaper, but it's all glued down because it's so fragile. But what a beautiful like texture and feel it brings to these books. It's just really cool. And then here is, this is just paper that's been tea dyed, and I folded it over. Little polka dot on the corner there. Another one of the little botanical cards that I covered and stitched. And then I gave you a fussy cut rose to play with that was kind of left over. And then I just paper clipped them in there. And you'll see the roses are coming up. And then on the other side is this rose card. And then again, I've had this little scrap of sari silk on my desk for years. And it's just so fun that both of these little pieces found a home in this book. And I love that they're going to Lori because she's been with me for so many years. And she does have at least 10 of my books. And whenever she messages me, I'm always thrilled to make something for her because she's a total sweetheart. And she's so talented. It's just really amazing when I see like so many talented people out there that comment on my work. It just makes me feel really wonderful because, you know, as creators, we don't always feel like, you know, our work is good, and it's hard to know. And so it's an honor when people ask me to make something and they tell me like just how much they love my work. I never get tired of it, and I'm grateful for it actually. And here is a beautiful piece. This just has like a Japanese kind of feel to it. Definitely from the 30s. You can see how fragile it is. This one's a little sturdier than the others, and so I just put it on here with a little clip, and then she can play with it or just leave it right here. But you can see like it's just very, very brittle. But isn't it beautiful? I just love it. It's so delicate and so pretty. And that's just on the other side of the watercolor paper, which you can see there. I just did some swatches for fun. Really pretty little daisy card to kind of hold it in place. And then I'm just needing like pink in my life right now, so I'm using a lot of pinks. They go really beautiful with the florals. And then here is another paper that I have from the vintage collection, or antique actually, wallpapers that I have. And so I gave her a nice big piece. Again, I glued it on top of a ruby and pearl printable just to make sure that they're just so delicate. But isn't that just beautiful? I just love this one so much. I've made books using this one before. And then I did a little ruffle here on the bottom and added a little sparkly charm to just, you know, not that it needs any extra, you know, anything. But what I love about this here, and I don't really have anything except my washi tape little swatch, but this is a little pocket here. It's a little tuck spot, and this is the ruby and pearl printable, not the wallpaper. So if you wanted to tuck something in there, you could. And then while I'm here, I may as well show you my little washi tape. So if you have a lot of washi tapes like I do, a fun way to use them is just get plain white cardstock and glue a little swatch of each one down. That way when you're creating something, you can kind of see which one goes with your work the best. And I have several of these swatches. I even have a binder ring holding, because I have that many washi tapes. Yes, I do. So yeah, it was a little tip for you there. And then here you can see a larger page using the IOD paint inlays. And if you don't know what those are, it's Iron Orchid Designs, two ladies that, oh my gosh, their products are amazing. They make stamps and molds and transfers, and they have these paint inlays that they created. And this is the Rose Chintz pattern. And they're not hard to use at all, and it's real paint on there. And I love, love, love this pattern so much. And you can Google on YouTube or search on YouTube, and there's plenty of people out there using these in case you wanted to get this kind of look. And I love it. I've used them before, and I just love it in this book especially because it's just such an eclectic mix of shabby, beautiful, kind of, you know, different things going on. Beautiful Amity Bloom paper, and I just tea dyed it. Here's some more wallpaper samples here of this really beautiful flocked golden paper that I have. This is a little scrap of one I have coming up. You'll see I have a full page of this one. But I had that little scrap there, so I tucked it on there. Here's a piece of printed vellum, ruby and pearl, her ledger, her rose ledger. And I love, love, love printing on the vellum. And here's another little tip for those of you that your printer won't print on vellum, which my printer did not want to print on vellum. In fact, the very first one I did. Now, I have an ink tank printer. It's an Epson, it's an Eco Tank, and it was a train wreck. The paper came out like, it looked like Lola got to it, like it was just chewed up. Well, I just taped a piece of regular cardstock to the vellum and fed that through the printer, and it printed beautifully. So there is a tip for anyone struggling printing on vellum with your printer. Just a very small piece of tape onto a piece of cardstock to keep it straight, and it printed beautifully. So I'm very excited about that. Here's some fun. This is just the paper that they use to wrap things in, like at Marshall's. But I love it. It's got such a shabby kind of feel to it. I added a bunch of papers. And then, ta-da! This is the main inspiration for her book was just these fussy cut roses. And the picture she sent me, there were a lot of pink roses, but I was having a hard time finding like the right pink. And so I just took my paint and painted the paper pink. That way I got the feel of pink and still was able to kind of get like the pink roses. And that's the best way I can explain it. I hope it makes sense. But yeah, so, and I painted right on top of this paper here, and it's really cool. It's got like a really fun textury kind of feel, which I know she's gonna really love. And I think it's beautiful. I love the collection of roses, and I just am never tired of working with the rose. I'm constantly inspired by the rose. So this was just a wonderful thing to create. And it's a little piece of glue there, but I just love the way it came out. And then of course a really beautiful ruby and pearl printable here and here. And I love the center signature kind of matches the cover to kind of tie it all together. Yeah. Really beautiful book. I love the way this book came out. Again, everyone on Instagram, thank you so much for your comments. I got so many beautiful comments about this book. It really just made my day, because sometimes, you know, you don't know what, you know, for me, I work very organically, and I don't always, you know, sometimes I think, you know, gosh, Mary, you are just making a mess. But I'm really blessed and grateful for all the comments and everything. And so here's a nice piece of this really beautiful blue, and it's got some silver in there. I don't know if you can see it. This one's more sturdy. Doesn't have a date on there. This one I would probably date a little later because it's a little more sturdy. You know, maybe the 40s. But the feel is so beautiful. And even this blue is painted on there. It's just really cool. So I gave her a full page of that to play with. On the other side of the Amity Bloom new wallpapers. And then here's a little piece of the floral. I don't really want to touch it that much because it really is that fragile. But doesn't it just look beautiful? Just sort of hanging out there with this really fun pink pink paper here with the typography and thing. I just love it. And this was my printer kind of coughing up some black there, but I just love it. I think it's totally fine, and it kind of works with my whole theme here of just artsy, kind of textury, doesn't have to be perfect book. And I love that. A nice big piece of this really fun velvet, and I love the end pieces of this fabric. Another beautiful ledger there. Here's a piece of handmade paper that I got in downtown Naples, Florida. This is from a real fancy stationery shop, but I have a whole roll of it and I'm not really using it, and I thought it was perfect for this book. And you can see the gold embossing on there. And then I just added some fun silk, beautiful silk ribbons, and yeah, just to kind of dress it up. But a whole page to journal on there. And then we're coming to the end here. Wait till you see the finale of this book. If you have been with me for this whole flip through, the finale is going to be the best part for you. I promise. So there is a ruby and pearl printable, and you can see I'm using the little tuck spot here. And this is just this beautiful pearly kind of paper. And then this gorgeous rose stationery that I got here actually. And I just thought that was really pretty for the rose book. And then, are you ready for the finale? Ta-da! Well, so let me just first show you the other side of this gorgeous blue wallpaper. But then my friend Lori, I know she loves leopard. I saw this fabric and just bought a little piece of it. It is faux. But how fun to just add this for her birthday. I know she's gonna love it. And she can just put one of her jewelry pieces with this. I've got it backed onto this really beautiful woven, and this is actually a pocket. She can store some pictures in there, but I just had to put some of this cheetah print in this book for her. And so, Lori, if you're watching, I hope you love that. But that is the finale, of this book with the golden damask paper, beautiful roses, and the end. My signature is right down here. And again, happy early birthday. I hope you love this book. And to everyone here, thank you so much for watching and subscribing to my Instagram and here. Just have a really beautiful rest of your night, and just thank you so much for watching again. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.